as associated with our manufacturing plant here in Ikeja, Lagos State. Can we have the slide? Can we have the slides projected? Okay, can we go to the first? Let's go start from. Okay, so we welcome you, like I've said. The first slide, please. PLC, we're passionate about the safety of our brands and our people. We consider the two as very important assets to us. The safety of our products as we bring them out to consumers and the safety of everyone that comes in here, be it our employee, be it visitor, be it our surroundings. It is important that we operate in a safe environment. Okay, so where we are, I want to show you the schematic diagram of where we are. Can we take the diagram up? We're on the west side of this site, which is towards this where we are. The site is divided into two. We have the commercial side and we have the manufacturing side. And you see where the red ink is where we are, which apparently it's our employees' cafeteria. Okay. So while we're here, can we take this slide up? For this AGM, please, if you are new to this environment, please follow the host and hostesses. They will lead you in and lead you out. It's also important to inform you that for convenience, for using our restrooms, please, the restroom is just outside this building. The next building outside there. If you are in doubt, please also ask the host and the hostesses to direct you to the convenience. Okay. Can we take it up again? Okay, there are some signs you will have seen here. If you're driving here, our speed limit is 10 km per hour. Kindly help us to adhere to that. On this side, there won't be forklift activities here today. Please, if you are also coming in, not from this side, you're coming in from the other side, you would have seen a pedestrian vehicular segregation. Please endeavor to walk with the lines that has been apportioned for pedestrians. Can we take it up? Okay, so our site also operates a no smoking policy. If we have anyone here that smokes, please, you can just take excuse outside. Outside the gate, you can have a puff of your cigarette. In here, because we have a lot of flammable and combustible liquids within the site. Okay, so can you take it off? Okay, like I've said also, watch out for moving trucks. This site also serves as distribution centers for our products. So watch out for moving trucks. Fire also, as I said, we don't allow smoking. Electrical cables are placed around here. Please look out for exposed cables. We've done enough just to ensure that all the cables are well insulated. Also to prevent trip and fall, please ensure that you look well before you take over the you go over the cables. Okay. So today we also don't plan to have emergency preparedness test, which we call mock evacuation. So if you have any alarm sounds, it's really an emergency situation. And so if any alarm comes up, just take a walk out. Don't run. Take a walk out. You have our emergency muster point. The muster point is just outside there. You would have seen the signage. Endeavor to go in there. Our fire marshals and safety marshals will come there to do a roll call to ensure that everybody that has registered that is within our facility is well accounted for. Please don't return until the building is certified as safe to come back to. So as you continue to deliberate on the our 57th annual general meeting. I wish you well. Kindly endeavor that you stay safe. And also, the business just recognize the fact that COVID is much more apparent with us. And that is why we have encouraged that everyone make use of your nose mask and you ensure that you follow COVID protocol. Please, let's keep to that. Let's ensure that we stay safe. Let's ensure that we protect ourselves and protect others also from contracting COVID-19. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I'm willing to take. In the absence of none, thank you. Have a good day.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I welcome you to the 57th Annual General Meeting of our company. I have confirmed from the registrar that we have a quorum in compliance with the company's Articles of Association and Section 261 of the Companies. Thank you. Of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. We have also received approval of the Corporate Affairs Commission, subsequently endorsed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigerian Exchange Limited to conduct this AGM via proxies. Others joining us will therefore do so via proxy and or live streaming to our esteemed shareholders, regulators and observers who are unable to be with us physically. As you can observe, as a responsible corporate citizen, your company has ensured compliance by taking necessary health and precautionary measures as stipulated by federal, state, regulatory, and health authorities. I confirm also that the register of directors shareholding, register of substantial shareholders, register of directors' attendance at board meetings, register of members, and other statutory registers of the company are available for inspection as statutorily required. Before we proceed to the business on the day, I would like to introduce members of the board of directors as well as the company secretary. As you know, my own name is Ade Dotun Suleiman. Of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as a non-executive director on the 5th of August 2009, and I was appointed chairman of the board with effect from 22nd of July 2020. I will now go on to introduce my colleagues on the board, and each director is to stand up on being introduced. Mrs. Oyeyemeka Adeboye, the managing director of the company. Mrs. Adeboye joined the board of Cadbury as an executive director on the 30th of November 2008 and attained the position of managing director on 1st of April 2019. Mr. Ogaga Ologe, the finance director of the company. Mr. Ologe joined the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as an executive director on 1st of April 2019. Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, a director of the company. Mrs. Awoshika joined the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as a non-executive director on the 22nd of October 2009. Mrs. Kofu Akikugbe, a director of the company. Mrs. Akikugbe joined the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as a non-executive director on the 1st of January 2021. Mr. Sunil Patarasati, a director of the company. Mr. Patarasati joined the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as a non-executive director on the 1st of February 2018. He's not with us physically, he's joined us remotely. Ms. Nadia Mohammed, a director of the company. Ms. Mohammed joined the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC as a non-executive director effective 1st January 2021. She's not with us physically, but she's joining live. I'm also pleased to introduce Mrs. Fola Akonde, the company secretary, chief legal counsel of the company. Their respective profiles, as well as mine, are contained in the annual report. Okay, in line with the approval of the Corporate Affairs Commission for attendance of the meeting by proxies, I would now like to make mention of the following individuals who have been appointed as proxies to represent shareholders who cannot be physically present at this meeting. Myself, Mrs. Oyeyemeka Adeboye, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, Mrs. Mary Joke Shofolahan, and Pastor Oyelakin Awobode. I would also like to introduce the various professional parties who are working with us and assisting our company in discharging its responsibilities effectively. First, the company's auditors, PricewaterhouseCoopers, represented here by Mr. Oladele Oladipo. The Nigerian Exchange Limited, represented by Mrs. Lillian Dako. The Securities and Exchange Commission, represented by Ms. Amina Tanko and Mr. Abu Ibrahim. The company's registrars, First Registrars Investment Services Limited, represented by Mr. Amidu Akinyemi and Ms. Juliana Nworisa. The Corporate Affairs Commission had informed us that they will not be able to attend this meeting. I would also like to introduce members of the Audit Committee. Mrs. Elizabeth Begbagbe, Mrs. Shofolahan, and Pastor Awobode, who is not here with us physically but is joining us virtually. Okay. I will now call on the company secretary to read the notice of the meeting, which is on page 5 of the annual report.
Thank you. Good morning, all. Notice is hereby given that the 57th Annual General Meeting of members of Cadbury Nigeria PLC will be held in the Learning and Development Center, Cadbury Nigeria PLC, Latif Jakonde Road, Agidingbi, Ikeja, Lagos, on Wednesday, 15th of June, 2022, at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business: to lay before the meeting the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st of December 2021. The report of the directors together with the reports of the auditors and the audit committee thereon. Secondly, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. Third, to declare a dividend. Fourth, to elect and re-elect directors. Fifth, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the independent auditors. And sixth, to elect members of the audit committee. Special business: to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company. A, that subject to the provisions of the rules of Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, namely the rules governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, a general mandate be and is hereby renewed for the company to enter into recurrent related parties transactions for the company's day-to-day operations, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms in compliance with the NGX rules. B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to complete and do all such acts and things, including executing all such documents as may be required, to give effect to the transactions as authorized by this ordinary resolution. Number 8, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company. That in compliance with the requirements of section 124, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021, and pursuant to clause 44, subsection C of the Company's Articles of Association, the share capital of the company be reduced from 2,747,827,802 divided into 5,495,655,604 ordinary shares to 1,878,201,962 naira divided into 3,756,403,924 ordinary shares by cancelling 869,625,840 naira, amounting to 1,739,251,680 unissued shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been taken or agreed to be taken by any person. B, that pursuant to the above resolution which I just read out, and now by special resolution, clause 5 of the Memorandum of Association of the company be amended to reflect the issued share capital of the company after the cancellation of the unissued shares as follows. The share capital of the company is 1,878,201,962 naira divided into 3,756,403,924 756,403,924 shares of 50 kobo each, with power to increase the capital and to divide the shares in the capital for the time being into several classes, and to attach any preferential, deferred, qualified, or special rights, privileges, or conditions. And that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute any agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts, and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to the resolutions above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants, and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. And the 9th item of special business is to approve the director's remuneration. The notes to the notice. Sir? Okay. Thank you, sir.
That was a very long notice. Thank you very much. I will now present to you the chairman's statement, which is contained on page 13 in the annual report. With your permission, I'd like to take it as read. Thank you very much. Comments on the statement will be taken during the question and answer session after the laying of the accounts. Now, the first item on our agenda for today is to lay before the shareholders the financial statements of the company for the year ended at the 1st December 2021, and the reports of the directors together with the reports of the auditors and the audit committees thereon. I will now call on the representative of the auditors to present their report, which is on page 69 of the annual report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oladele Oladipo from PricewaterhouseCoopers. The external auditor's reports can be found on pages 69 to 72 of the annual report. With the kind permission of the chairman and the shareholders, I would like to restrict my presentation to just the opinion paragraph on page 69 and the report on other legal requirements on page 72. Page 69. Independent auditor's report. With the permission of the shareholders, independent auditor's report to the members of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. In our opinion, Cadbury Nigeria PLC's financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2021 and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act. Page 72. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. 2, the company has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books, and returns adequate for our audit have been received from branches not visited by us. 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns, signed for PricewaterhouseCoopers, dated 23rd March 2022. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I will now call on the chairman of the audit committee, Pastor Lanre Awobode, to present the audit committee's report, which is on page 66 of the annual report. I think that will be done on his behalf by Mrs. Is he here? Okay, he's here online, but it looks like Mrs. Shofolan is going to read it on his behalf. Oh, okay. I understand the chairman wants to read it himself. So let's put our technology to test. So, Pastor Obode, over to you.
All right. Good morning, sir, Chairman, and all other protocols to be observed. The report of the Audit Committee is as stated on page 66 of the annual report. I am also saying good morning to the other members of the Audit Committee. Now, please let me read the report of the Audit Committee. In compliance with Section 404, subsection 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of Nigeria, we have 1. Reviewed and ascertained that the accounting and reporting policies adopted by the company are in accordance with applicable legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. 2. Reviewed the scope and planning of audit requirements and found them satisfactory. 3. Appraised the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021 and are satisfied with the explanations. 4. Reviewed the company's system of accounting and internal control and found them effective. 5. Reviewed the external auditor's management report for the year ended 31st December 2021 and are satisfied that management is taking appropriate steps to address issues and comments noted in the report. The independent auditors confirmed management's full cooperation in the course of the performance of their duties, and they were not limited in any way by the company and its management. Pastor Oyelakin Lanre Awubode signed on the 22nd March 2022. Other members of the Audit Committee are Mrs. Mary Jokeso Folahan, and Mrs. Elizabeth Begbaji, Mrs. Kufu Akinkugbe, and Mr. Suni Patasarati. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Pastor Obode. So our technology setup works perfectly. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I now lay the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021 before you. We shall now entertain some questions on the chairman's statement earlier presented and the financial statements. Okay. Please.
Mr. Chairman of Cadbury Nigerian PSC, Directors of our great company, fellow distinguished shareholder, good morning. My name is Okezia Boniface. I'm the National Chairman of Progressive Shareholder Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I am glad to be here today as selected to come and be one of the speakers or to grace the occasion, because we're not listed as process. But I want to commend the company secretary for using her own discretionary initiative to bring us in. Otherwise, if we are going by the process, which are members of the audit and directors, I think this hall would have been empty. Nobody would have been come here to comment. But I thank God for her, because that's the only person we speak, maybe from year to year. You get across to her, you speak to her, you speak to us. And that way we'll be still keeping our brain with the company. Otherwise, the directors are distant themselves from us. That's the truth, including MD. I don't know when last I spoke to her. But the company secretary trusts me any day, any time. It's more or less a good sister, a junior sister, and amiable and so calm anytime. Even the missus called him or return it. For like, keep it up. The great work you have been doing on behalf of the directors. That's why I'm doing the work. And I also hope that you end up as the executive director in this company. Because you have done so well. And when somebody does well, it must also be appreciated by compensated, you know. Those who are directors are not bigger than you. You are more educated as well, you know. So I pray that they will deem it fit, become a director, maybe director of management services, or what have you. I will have a listening board. I know the board must do the needful at the appropriate time. I'm not campaigning, I don't campaign. But when I say things the way it is, and I say it the way it is. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, we are happy today that at least we are having something to take home pay. The dividend, you know, I think you're paying us 50 kobo payable today. Even by the time of this report, the price was reflected at 8 naira. But thank God in a few months back now, the price have getting to 17 naira or thereabout, which is additional plus for investors. Either you want to stay for the dividend or you don't want to stay, you can part way and make sale and have some money in your pocket. That's how it should be. One of our competitors in the beverage industry today, the share price is about 1,000 something, 400, thereabout. Even if we can't come near it, but at least the price of Cadbury should be trading at least a maximum price that commensurate what you are doing. But I know more products have been added, no sweet, no buttermint, or what have you. More products must be added so that people can have variety of choice. You know, so as people get old, some of them will not be taking Bonvita, then they will buy it for their children. And some women who also take those things. Since we have now with Mondelez, one of the foremost food industries in the world today, they must also replicate, not taking royalties, increasing it. They must also bring more of those products that have been selling all over the world that can also be selling here or manufacturing here. That's how it should be. If you are taking these royalties, they will find it as justification by taking such a huge amount of money from shareholders. Otherwise, that 80-70 is unjustifiable. If we don't see more product increase, then what's the technicality are they giving to us? It doesn't justify. I don't see any technicality they are deploying here. If some of the product cannot be manufactured here, not even in Ghana, they must get that product manufactured here. And their technical know-how input into it, you know, then whatever you are taking away from here as a royalties must be justified at the end of the day. Otherwise, we will continue to criticize what they are taking out from here without not adding any more input. Most people who are running the party are Nigerians. I don't see the technicality here they are deploying here, you know, except maybe other one hidden that the board can let us know where they are contributing. I'm still going to get to that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, revenue on page 2, financial highlight. Our revenue also grew to 20%, 42.3 billion as against 35. That's commendable. And which also give you the gross profit of 6.4 billion as against 5.8. Then the profit proper for the year, Mr. Chairman, 499 or something, 499 million as against 931 in previous year. Mr. Chairman, when you remove all the etc., that's why it comes in. Otherwise, with 23.94 naira, we should have even get more dividend than what you are giving to us. Somebody may ask, is the Cadbury has dividend policy? Your dividend policy should be increasing those dividends when things went up. You must all remember those aside here, the minority, to increase their pocket, their take-home pay. That's what our own take-home pay for the year. The days of loss have gone. I know today is a day of profit. What we are looking at today is increase of dividend payout. Otherwise, Mr. Chairman, I would have subjected on page 5 issue of cancellations on the notice confirming the meeting. We would have asked for bonus issues. But don't forget that we reconstructed these shares. How many years now? We reduced it to where it is to the 1.something billion. I wouldn't be an advocate or say, okay, pay all dividend. Bonus, which will also increase the share we reconstructed. Because the benefit we should maximize is to have enhanced dividend payout, not looking at the direction of increase in shares. I'm not advocate of that, Otherwise, I would have said, share those money instead of, if nobody's taking it up. Or you bring the right issue. That's the only way. Or you do a right issue, or both combined. Because if you are taking from the bank to run our businesses, we should be able to raise capital fresh, either right issue or public offering. We use those shares to do it. Instead of canceling them, or you identify an investor who will come and take it up. That boss should be looking at that than throwing it overboard. It's not good enough. Mr. Chairman, I'm an advocate that either will give you to go and do the needful on those shares than canceling them outright. Because time will come when we need money. Either you identify an investor who want to come in bring money. You're now looking hater again to come and give approval to authorize the increase on share capital. It is not good. We should make use of what we have. But I know I trust the board. We can also pass that resolutions. The board must do the needful that we will not be at a loser on those shares. Mr. Chairman, is very, very important. Otherwise, we would have asked to those shares to be distributed. It's our money among us. But that will also call for increasing of shares, which you will find difficult to service, to pay a good dividend. 1.something billion we are paying 50 kobo. Mr. Chairman, it's not good enough. So I don't want to labor the company now to increase share bonus. No, it's not going to be good for us. Because at the end of the day, the dividend you are paying, you try to increase now, will also shrink, which is not for our own good. We want to maintain higher dividend since we have started. By this year, we may even pay 1 naira to add number 50 kobo. It's doable, Mr. Chairman. Don't put your hand as if you lost somebody. Bring your hand down from your jaw. You didn't lose anybody. Mr. Chairman, so I believe that the board and management must work assiduously that even if we don't pay 1 naira next year, at least 80 kobo is doable. So we can start from there. We know that, yes, Cadbury have now justified of that reconstruction, which have not met the justification of reducing those volume of shares we did at that time. Because when you reconstruct, it's to enable you to pay higher dividend. We have not seen it reflecting. And it must also reflect, Chairman, in your tenure. If not that 10, you did. Just do that. So when you're existing, we'll be now drum to celebrate your exits, your performance in Cadbury. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I am not also happy on the unclaimed dividend. Fola, he must do justice by producing the list and circulate it. Even after the AGM, he can do that. So that people will know the names. If you see a colleague, we can ask, I saw your name there on that list. Why have you not claimed your dividend? Go and assess your dividend. Ask not to go and say the website, mostly on the registrars, that most of us cannot access. Even you try that Kingdom Come, it won't get open. We must have those lists published, names on clear dividend. So that if my name is there, I can also approach the registrars. I'm here to collect my dividend. Even the directors among them whom I know by their face, if I see their name on claim, I will call their attention. Or the person relate to them. I say, Madam, I saw this, do you know I got this name? So these are things we're able to do, eliminate this unclaimed dividend. You must sit down with the registrars to write out these things and reconcile where there's unclaimed dividend. The one that is not status bar that will return to company, let's have it reinvest it for the benefit of shareholders. Don't allow thieves in Abuja to corner those money. It doesn't belong to them. Nigerian people are suffering, including the shareholders, to invest in any company. So it is not within their right to force people to surrender money to them. This government we are having today is a pay robber government. They are armed robbers. They come and reap where they did not sow. So every money that people are not claiming, let it reside with the company. Company know what to do. If you invest it in yield interest, that interest must recapitalize among shareholders. That's how it should be run in any claim society. Not somebody forcing us in Abuja, bring that money. You create a pool that sovereign way managing it, that's totally unacceptable. You're stealing from the people. And that's why things are not improving in the country. They're going to steal what they don't need. Until the accountant general would steal about 80 billion. The hard watchers, 80 billion, they will steal. Money they don't need for. These are common people's money. We can't allow this thing to continue. Whatever they are sitting now with Abuja, they return them to the companies. So registrar, make sure you liaise with the company secretary to publish those lists and circulate it to all. It's very, very important. Very, very important. Including the buyers of this world. After he is a now past chairman of Chilatara Bankers, president of this and that, president of capital market, he never did fit to champion on cost on clean dividend. They were just laughing, clapping with Abuja, Director General. Nobody can speak out. That's why those money have been cornered over there. The first research is about 100 billion. We need that money. This research will have that money. No. We can't continue this way. We can't continue. We can't continue as a country. Mr. Chairman, I don't want to bore the company today because I know we have done very well on the limited resources you have. Because when you produce, there's no road to transport across geographical cell. You're still having security problem there and there. And what we are producing is food. In the northern area, who can also consume beverages, it's not going far. Borno are still in turmoil. Yobe are still there. Zamfara are still there. Sokoto is still boiling. Kaduna are endless. You go to southeast, woo! You come to west, they are killing every day. So there's no peace for you people to, even peace of mind to do business. It's not there. It's not there. Uncertainties. Would the driver return or not? When the truck being pushed on the day, the company will continue to keep vigil whether the drug will return safe or the goods will be safe. Mr. Chairman, it's a real problem. And when companies come out like this to declare such profit performance, we should applaud them. Because what you are passing, what they have gone through, to even deliver the goods, the product, for people to buy it, is terrible. And today, the purchasing power has been cut to size. It's no longer there. Where you go to a supermarket, you buy the various of your choice and come home. Your children will clap for you. Daddy bought us Bonvita, he bought us Tom Tom, he bought us chocolate. It's no longer there. So you just pick the few that's also needable in the family today. That's why Nigeria has been done to. So we pray for this company and the workforce continue to do their best, making sure that we get the best at the end of the day. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the corporate affairs. What they have done in this annual report, clearly, even somebody who has a eye problem will see this annual report clearly. This is the best of annual report I've seen so far within the year. The clarity, the boldness is something to write home about. It's superb. And the shareholder, the owners of company are captured. Even those who wear parachute, they can also display it. They are displaying it here today. Their parachute and what have you. I want to commend the company for being listening, the corporate affairs and the company secretary for bringing us the good pictures that can stay to archive. People know shareholders attended this forum. It's good, commendable. I want to applaud them for that. Mr. Chairman, on page 100 and 101, let me see whether it's going to be my last page, comment. Before I take my seat. I want to commend our auditors. Mr. Chairman, page 100. Yes. I want to commend the auditors for the audit fees. It's very commendable, but that's not to say it should increase. Because I say you have maintained the status quo. But I want to commend you for being there for us I've been for the company, what they are passing through. Now they are coming back stronger. If increase, but let it be small, gradual process. Don't overburden them. Yeah, few will pay when you increase, when they are doing very well. I want you to maintain the status quo. In the next, you don't increase, no further increase. Just maintain this one to go jelly. When the time for that to do, we applaud you for that. Okay? You have done very well with the good job you are doing. Mr. Chairman, I've thought about these realities. This money here, 870 against 699 previous year, it is not good. If you are not seeing the products being rolled as part of the royalty, their input here, I'm not going to applaud Mondelez for this, is unjustifiable if they're not doing anything to increase productivity, increase product rollout in this company. I've seen coffee here now. If I ask for coffee, I won't get it here. This coffee, display here. If I ask for it, I won't see it. Coffee. Do we have coffee here? Do we have coffee here among our product? Eh? No, there's a coffee display here. Coffee sweet. Can you imagine? Coffee sweet. We are talking about reducing sweet. You are increasing sweet. Tom, buttermilk, this and that. We want to get something, and other people can also chew or buy. There are a lot of biscuits they are doing. We are not seeing it in the market in our group. Mondelez has a lot of biscuits. Why are we seeing them in the market? Don't increasing Tom and coffee sweet, whatever. Let us have other chocolate. I've been coming for this for years. When I went to Ghana sometime, I saw Ghana chocolate, Cadbury. Why can't we replicate it here? Have we closed the cocoa, the buttermilk, the cocoa, what they call it? We are doing that on those states. Is it not there? Cake. We should be able to make it, all these things and export it to other West African market. For goodness sake. That's what we should be doing. That's how they should be helping us. So that this royalty will be justified when they take it away from us. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the management for being prudent. In the midst of high turnover, we have almost 41 point something billion as against 35. To me, cost of doing business is higher in Nigeria today. Whether the piping gas here is have increased, because the cooking gas now, 12 kg is about 9,000 in the market out there. So if they're piping here gas, it's also going to increase. If you're not a dozo, wire, I think it's 800 per liter. So cost of doing business is high. I won't say you have spent much or you have spent low, but let us watch our expenditures, moderate, I think this is a prudent, have an account to bear in this account. So everybody has to face reality in life, we are doing things. Ease of doing business is high in Nigeria. They'll tell you when chairman was this, it's low. Ease of business is cheap. It's not cheap. We are deceiving ourselves, paying lip services. By CAs, cooperating maybe a few days or a week, it comes out. The ease of doing business is lower. Not lie. When you come to there, you are paying what you are not being used. They are not supplying you. You are paying for it. It's type of ease of doing business we're talking about. Nigeria is corrupt and fraudulent country. The leaders are not helping us. Chairman, are you still with the Financial Reporting Council? Thank God you are there. I'll finish today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to everyone present and those watching us virtually. The name is Evangelist Dr. Anthony Omoni Omojola, your Prince, the National Coordinator, Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Thank you very much. I thank the company through our company secretary for inviting me to be here, to be able to hear our voice for a few minutes on the company performance for the past 1 year. we've gone through the notice, and like the last speaker, the shares we are about canceling is much. And I remember we have paid for registering those shares. So if you cancel them outrightly, we have also canceled the money we've paid. So, well, our directors are our trustee. We trust them that they will do the needful and take a good decision on our behalf. But giving our own opinion, the issue is neither here nor there. If you want higher dividend, you try to minimize the number of shares. But instead of canceling it, if for the sake of making use of the money we have paid before, we can declare this as bonus, or part of it as bonus, so that we don't cancel it outrightly. But like I said, we want to rely on the final judgment of our directors. So we'll be waiting, and we will support you for the resolution. Well, I welcome all of us to this year's AGM, the 57th in number. Also appreciate our positive achievers, the directors, who are very diligent and dedicated directors for what they have been doing. And of course, the promising staff and management of our company. I have gone through the annual reports, especially the colored one, which I've just dropped because I've worked on this. I've seen the pictorial displays of our elegant personalities and, of course, products. The products are diverse, and, of course, change is the dynamic. So we move from the orthodox one to new one as the time dictates. Thank you for the few ones you have added over the year. I also appreciate the efforts of the company secretary that has taken her time to have a detailed information on our erudite directors and their areas of relevance to the society. Thank you very much. I would have taken one exception to the detailed information. The date of birth of the directors were not added. But let me skip it because of our chairman, because those golden hairs, we want to appreciate. So I won't be asking for the chairman age here. But going forward, it's one of the needed things we used to value our directors. And when I look at the chairman statement, especially on page 14, on board and management changes, I've added that actually with the powerful female FD and powerful female company secretary, and of course, majority of members in the audit committee are also female. Of course, when you talk of gender balancing, Cadbury is doing more than necessary. I hope the female will not take over the whole thing. I hope they will not take over everything because their voice is very loud. And of course, we hear them very well at the companies. Well done. I won't be talking much. The first speaker has mentioned the unclaimed dividend is very, very important to us shareholders, especially we minority shareholders. We are many in number, even though our resourcefulness is limited because of our capacity. But for few of us that represent them, whenever we have opportunity to talk, we need to speak the truth. What I will add to what he has said is the fact that the registrar should print unclaimed dividend list, but I will use the word readable to underline it, readable. There are some companies that have printed so many, we find out they are so tiny, junked up. Of course, first registrars can do the needful by putting them alphabetically. I've seen some that they are not alphabet. You have to go through the whole list before you can single out your name or any other person. We want them to be useful. If money is invested in printing that list should be readable. And of course, even when you don't send it to every shareholder, we know they are online, but every shareholder don't have access to access it online. Send it to the reasonable shareholder groups that have secretariats, and they will use it to market it to their members. And of course, you find out that that amount will reduce over time. So that is what I will say. In terms of performance, I think that we have an outstanding board attendance list and that of the audit committee. I say kudos to all of them. Where performance, the company has done very well relatively to the take of times. The fact that we come out clean out of COVID is a very good one, and we pray that the company, God will continue to strengthen the board and management to be able to do more, so that when we have good results, and of course, the shareholders will smile home with the declared dividend. Naturally, we want dividend. Again, you have to work and be able to retain some of the money. That will take me to the value-added page. Page 140, on value-added page. If you look at it, we have 2 years to compare here. My take here is that retentions should be greater than takeaways. What I mean by takeaways, in terms of application, you pay wages to the staff and the rest of them, you pay tax to government, and of course, where we borrow money, you have to pay interest. Those 3 items combined should never be greater to what we are able to retain in terms of depreciation for more production, and in terms of what we are sharing, either retained for good other working capital or giving us a dividend. So, and to be able to do that, there's need to grow our earnings. And that is why I'm alluding to the chairman's statement on page 15. He has given us some hope in what he put on that page 15, which I read very well, that going forward, there's hope that we are going to achieve better results in future, all things being equal. And having said that, I go back to page 137. That's the segmented page. I look at the segments of the products in terms of revenue, depreciation, and the rest of them. One is tempted to urge you to concentrate more on confectionaries because of the profit. But based on the volume, I will advise that you keep up production and, of course, export more products to earn us hard currency, knowing the exchange rate of our naira. If you're able to get more foreign currency, which is likely to be in dollar, there's tendency that we earn more, and that is going to enhance our position. Having said that, there is a little analysis we did in terms of figures, which I passed a copy to the company secretary. I don't want to bore you, but let me just take on the 5-year report. That 5-year analysis, there are 2 areas we dedicated to 5 years analysis there. Looking at the 5-year financial summaries on the page 141, we've done the analysis there. The comments is that the growth of our company revenue in the last 5 years have been fluctuating, and of course, only managed to increase by 28% within the 5-year period. However, the profit before tax rose tremendously by 213% in 5 years, while the profit after tax rose by 50%. Management is commended for the performance, but we urge you to continue to improve on the coming year. Okay? Going further, the growth of our company remains low but steady. Our company witnessed a 16% growth in value over the 5-year period, while retained earnings grew by 25%. The value of total assets grew by 54%, which much better than the growth experienced in the value of the company. However, the total liability grew at a much higher rate of 80% within 5 years, and this actually accounted for the slow growth of the value of our company. Management must look closely to this position in order to guide adequately the interests of shareholders and stakeholders. So we thank you for the effort of management and staff of the company. Having said this, I want to close my remark by once again thanking the directors, the management and staff for the good work they are doing. I pray God continue to strengthen each and every one of us and protect us to be here next time. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, fellow distinguished shareholders, the staff of the company, the advisors of the company, ladies and gentlemen. I will have stayed on the existing protocol, but those people didn't agree on themselves. They came with various things. So I had to establish my own. First of all, I want to start on a lighter mood. The chairman, when I first noticed him here, he had a very black hair. But now, I know it is a very good one, silvery color and everything. But what that one is hard work, a lot of thinking, and enjoying in the results here. And that is the reason why I'm going to address my own speech, not the way, the annual account has given me opportunity to address about 3 broad areas: the board, the management, then the operations of the company. Those are the areas I want to concentrate on. First, on the one of the board, I appreciate that the board are doing their work. They are to make policy, they are to bring ideas, and to oversee. It is all here. We have seen it here. And for the management, you can only get revenue for what you sell. If you don't sell, what will you get? And now coming from last year 35 billion to 42 billion, it's not a mean achievement. Definitely, there are good products that they try to dish out. But I think I want to give them word of my own advice. Generally speaking, everybody wants to spend from disposable income. Disposable income in the country is getting leaner and leaner. So definitely, if you don't come out with thinking cap, you can't get their money out of their pocket. So you have to think of products that can bring money out of the people's pocket. And the thing that I notice generally, the whole population, everybody is worried about their health. If you are giving them the product that doesn't want to boost their health, they will not spend money. But if you bring product that whether they put in their mouth, is either to make their mouth not to smell or make their mouth to good, they will spend money. But if you don't, they will not spend money. So that is the work of the manager. And they are trying to do their work well. But they need to really think very well how to bring money out of people's pocket where their money is not there. In terms of financial, I'm here not there. Because generally, it's not easy. Individually, we all run company. We know what the costs are. When you come here at AGM talking about this, talking about that, I laugh. but reality will dawn on you whether it is true or not. Now, in terms of the operations of the company, I want to commend the company secretary. It's a very good bridge, trying to get the stakeholders to rally around the company at every point in time. That's a very good one. But your corporate affairs, they need to work very hard. This annual report I'm holding in my hand, I got it here this morning. It's supposed to have a lot of mileage than the one that was sent to us earlier. In terms of this one, collation has problem. They need to look at it. There are page two here, which definitely are the financial highlights. You see on page 2, there are another page 2 within this one. It shouldn't be, because this one is what you said, and that was said the company to the outside world. So they need to pay more attention before it goes out. So they need to do a lot of work there. The one that was sent earlier on, I think it was well collated. It was good. But why not this? So they shouldn't be doing something in a hurry. It's either the planning, so that when the consignment comes, it will not be done in a rush. I think that's what in terms of the corporate image of Cadbury, it's very good. Even when you come to the company, you see beautifully kept lawns, everybody. The same thing individuals too. Generally, I'm sure, like I was joking this morning. I said the managing director is very toastable, and I see too. So also everybody on the board and the company, I think well kept. I think the image is very good. I think they should maintain it. I wish you well. Thank you.
Something, please.
Mr. Chairman, on the existing protocol, I am by name Adedumola Daniel, the National Coordinator for Domicile Shareholders Association of Nigeria, standing for Mrs. E.O. Obide. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I'd like to say that these annual reports, I wouldn't want to go readdressing some of the issues, but however, I'll highlight some of the issues that are discussed by my esteemed shareholders. It's a good one. It shows how prudent we are to have been able to work on the annual report, not having waste of funds. That being aside too, I also like to appreciate the board for using our training center, saving us a whole lot of cost going to rent all with millions of naira and with a lot of logistics to make sure that everything is put in place. It's a good one. It's a good one. That's one. Being said again, I would like to add my voice to my esteemed shareholders too, concerning the gender equality we have on the board. Is a great one, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that one. On the managing director's report, I like on page 18 concerning the operational environment on the exports, having the issues in the new policy we have in Republic of Benin, which has also made business very, very tight in profit making and cost itself. I want to commend the MD for the great performance still, even with all the costs that has been involved. It has shown that we've done pretty well in this year. It's a good one. And from the shareholders, our members, they sent me the good work to appreciate the board and management. So I would like to say thank you for that. And also, I'd like to say that even for the fact that it was a tough one, it was a tough one for the company, our company, we're still able to make profits. Tremendous one against last year and declaring of dividends. It's a mighty one. Last year we had 18 naira. This time around we have, 18 kobo. This time around we're having 50 kobo. It's a great one. It's a great one. And not just the fact that we're just doing it, even with our associations, with our affiliated bodies, with the regulatory bodies, it is acknowledged in terms of the awards we've gotten, the recognitions. It shows pretty well that we're doing well. Not just even on our product being aside, even on our staff, it also shows a good one concerning the award we received. On the contrary, the company secretary has done pretty well for compiling, as much as my esteemed shareholders are of the additional age inclusive on the profile, it has shown pretty well-detailed profile from page 25 to page 33 of the board profile. It's a great one, Mr. Chairman, I must commend. And Mr. Chairman, I want to bring our attention to something. Page 51. Director's report, page 51. Under the distributors. It shows that our distributors is in the appendix of the annual report on page 37, if I'm correct, right? Sorry, 142. Mr. Chairman, I want to humbly suggest that these are people who keep us in business. That if we can have them, as well as we have our products in the center and the middle of the page, if we can have our distributors, their contacts, and their location. Reasons being that shareholders and prospective customers or consumers can be able to access our distributors to the extent that we can be able to extend our sales with that. You know, with just having this on page 43, we have to go for additional information, start sourcing to be able to know where and when to get our product. Yes, it is available everywhere, in the supermarkets, by the roadside, it's accessible, but if we want to go, if a neutral person wants to go on a larger scale, where we can easily get it even with the annual report, we should be able to get that. Those are one of it. Then, to that again, I want to on the CSR, thank you. It shows more that we are looking at our host community within Ikeja, Lagos, and its environment. I want to also appeal that if we can look at Ondo as well, where our plantation is, if we can extend our CSR there too, extensively, the same way we've done on this side, so it will be duly appreciated too. Thank you very much. That's my humble submission.
Thank you very much. I think for those comments and commendations and so on, we're particularly grateful for most of the comments, of course, were positive. And I would say I would like to join you shareholders also thanking management for the results that we produced under a very, very tough operating environment. Nigeria is a very tough country to work in. And to get the set of numbers and results that we have now, I mean, it's, a lot of kudos will have to go to management. We've got to give them that. And of course, the company secretary was a staff today, I mean, so I think, so. Now, I would like to address just two issues. Number one is the issue of cancelled shares. That issue of cancellation of unissued shares was mandated by the new Companies and Allied Matters Act. So it's the law. Now, contrary to some of the sentiments expressed, they were not shares that have been paid for. They are just shares that were lying in reserve for future shareholding and so on, if and when it happened. That was always the case in years past. You have authorized shares and allotted shares. There's always a gap between what is authorized and what is allotted. Now, what the new company law says now is that we don't want unallotted shares. So we had two choices. I mean, in fact, we literally had one choice anyway, which is to cancel those shares. If we issue those shares, what you simply do, you increase the number of shares, and its per share will go down. So it doesn't really make anybody any richer or smarter. So what we did on the balance of all the issues, the cost of of everything, we just said the best was to cancel it. And that's basically, and we did this after receiving expert advice from lawyers and so on. So, and we are not alone. I mean, if you check, I'm sure you know, many companies have taken this particular stand. But again, we're just following the issue of the law. Okay. Now, with respect to unclaimed dividends, you also note that the issue of unclaimed dividend is not a Cadbury issue, it's a national issue. But for Cadbury, what we've done is to make sure at least the list is well known. So if you go to our website, it's there. So you can go through there, and if you have an unclaimed dividend, you find it there. We also plan to publish in 2 national dailies the unclaimed dividends, I think, with particular respect to Cadbury. So we expect something to come out in the papers maybe around the 20th of June, which is 2 days tomorrow. What's today's date? Oh, next Monday. So the Punch, the Tribune, and Daily Telegraph, they will issue, they will get a way publication of one issues. Name appear on the list. Please get information to them and let them go and claim their money. So that is, like I said, it's a national issue. It's not a Cadbury alone issue, but at least as far as Cadbury is concerned, we will do all that we will need to do to make sure those who have unclaimed shares have the ability to, first of all, know of that fact, and then to go claim their dividend. I think generally that's what I have to say by way of comments. I would say most of the, as far as AGMs go, I think this is one of the best AGMs we've had. And we did promise you last year that we'll do better, and we've delivered on that. And I think I can make another promise on behalf of management that we'll continue to do the best we can. But we have to bear in mind that if we thought last year was tough, this year is tougher. It's an extremely tough operating environment. We all feel it. From diesel cost to FX to purchasing power, which many of you alluded to. Costs are going up every day. Input costs are going up every day. We've had to take price increases just to maintain, the same level of margins and so on. There's only so much you can do. And many companies have tried with reducing quantities and products and so on. There's only so much you can do. So it's a very tough environment. But that said, I think we're going to do the best we can, given the reality that we live in. The other thing to bear in mind also is that it's an election year. Now, it's a two-edged sword. There'll be plenty of money, in a few hands and so on, but it's also a year when you don't expect much change by way of policy. The current government I don't think it's going to do anything that's going to change anything significantly. So again, while we'll continue to do our best, I think you have to bear in mind that we operate in the context of an environment that we don't control. We don't have full control over what's happening outside the environment, but I can assure you that on behalf of everybody, that management will continue to do the best they can so that come next year, we'll get even better results. We'll try. Okay, thank you very much. I think of the Companies and Allied Matters, I hereby call a poll on items 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 on the agenda. Thus, voting on this resolution will be taken electronically. Okay. The third item on the agenda is to declare a dividend. Your directors have recommended to shareholders a dividend in the sum of 40,512,394 naira and 92 kobo, which translates to 50 kobo per share, per ordinary share of 50 kobo each. May I ask a shareholder to move the following motion: that a dividend of 50 kobo per share amounting to the sum of 940,512,394 naira and 92 kobo, based on the financial statement of the company for the year ended 31st December 2021, be and is hereby declared subject to the deduction of appropriate withholding tax. Yes, please.
To move as declared by the chairman. The name is Prince Dr. Anthony Omojola.
Thank you very much. May I have another shareholder to please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, I second that motion, Mr. Kezia Boniface.
Thank you very much. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. We have 30 seconds to vote. You have this device you all have for voting. Please vote now, and registrar should please announce the result of the voting as soon as it's done.
Mr. Chairman, sir, let me clarify how the voting will go. If you are voting for, you press 1A. And if you are voting against any resolution, you press 2B. Poll opens now.
Please vote now.
Countdown. 9 seconds left. Thank you very much. Can we have the result? Thank you very much. Let me clarify that before now, we had proxies sent in, 226 in number, and the holdings, 1,408,703,343 units, representing 75% of share capital. So, result, 235 voted for, none against, and in terms of shareholding, 1,409,402,899 voted for, 100%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. So I will declare that motion carried. The fourth item on the agenda is to elect and re-elect directors. Firstly, pursuant to Section 285(1) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 88 of the Company's Article of Association, Mrs. Ibukun Awushika and myself, being the longest serving directors on the board, are due to retire by rotation. So now, since I'm affected by this particular something, I will ask the managing director to please conduct this sale of the transaction. Yeah, please.
Being eligible, both directors have offered themselves for a re-election. May I ask a shareholder to move that Mrs. Ibukun Awushika, who retires by rotation in accordance with Section 285, subsection 1 of CAMA, and who, being eligible, has offered herself for election, be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company? May I ask a shareholder to move, please?
I second that motion. I move the motion, Mr. Boniface Okezie. that Mrs. Shibuku Awashika be elected as a great director of our company. She has been doing very well. I will need more her in the company. She's doing very excellent work.
Thank you.
Continue on the office.
Thank you. Will another shareholder please second the motion?
I, Adedumola Daniel, second the motion that the chairman and Mrs. Awushika, Mrs. Awushika be re-elected. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. You have 30 seconds to please vote.
Voting against, you press 2B. Voting commences now. Countdown. 8 seconds left. Poll has ended. Results, please. Thank you. Photographer, please. 235 shareholders voting in proxy and present here voted for, none against, 100%. In terms of shareholding, 1,409,402,899 voted for the election of Mrs. Ibukun Awushika as director, 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrars, I hereby declare the resolution to re-elect Mrs. Ibukun Awushika unanimously carried. Thank you. May I ask a shareholder to move that Mr. Adedoto Sulaiman, who retires at this AGM in accordance with the Article 88 of the Companies and Companies Articles of Association, Section 2851 of CAMA, and who being eligible for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. May I ask the shareholder to please move the motion?
I moved the motion that the chairman be re-elected back as a director of the company. My name is Benga Idowu.
Thank you, sir. Would another shareholder please second the motion?
I second the motion. Prince Dr. Anthony Omojola.
Thank you, sir. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. You have 30 seconds to please vote.
Voting commences now. If you are voting for, press 1A, against 2B. Thank you. Can we start countdown? 9 seconds left. 6, 5, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Poll has ended. Results, please. Thank you. 235 shareholders voted for, none against, 100%. 1,409,402,899 in terms of shareholding voted for, none against, 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrars, I hereby declare the resolution to re-elect Mr. Adedoto Sulaiman unanimously carried. I will now hand back the proceedings to the chairman so that I can have a peace.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Adeboye, for that, for holding that for us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. The fifth item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to determine the remuneration of the auditors. PricewaterhouseCoopers, who have indicated their willingness to continue in office as the auditor of the company for the year in the year 2022 financial year. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to determine the remuneration of the auditors. I'd like a shareholder to please second this motion.
Chairman, I second that motion. Boniface. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. I will not put the resolution to the meeting. You have 30 seconds to vote. Please vote now.
If you are voting for, press 1A. If you are voting against, press 2B. Poll starts now. Countdown. 9 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Voting has ended. Please.
No. I add shares by the cancellation of Naira 869,625,840, amounting to 1,739,251,680 unissued shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been taken or agreed to be taken by any person. B, that pursuant to the aforementioned resolution and by special resolution clause 5 of the memorandum of association of the company, be and is hereby amended to reflect the issued share capital of the company after the cancellation rights, privileges, or conditions. And C, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute any agreements, deeds, notices, or any documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to the resolutions above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants, advisors, and are complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. So the last item on agenda for today is also an item of special business, which is to approve the remuneration of the directors. Okay, so if I move that, may I have a seconder for the motion?
Chairman, I hereby move, second the motion as moved by the chairman. The other resolutions that have to do with the cancellations and whatever the director stated. I so second Mr. Kezia Boniface.
Thank you very much. I'll now put it to vote. So please press button 1A on your device. Please vote now.
Press 1A if you are voting for, 2B if you are voting against. Countdown, please. Three seconds. 2, 1. Poll has ended. Result, please. Okay. 235 shareholders voted for, none against, 100%. In terms of shareholding, 1,409,402,899 voted for, none against, 100%.
Thank you very much. Based on the results announced by the registrar, I therefore declare the resolution unanimously adopted. The last item on our agenda for today is also an item of special business, which is to approve the remuneration of the directors. The directors' remuneration has remained unchanged since it was last approval at the 2021 annual general meeting, and is in the aggregate sum of 22,700,000 naira. The same is now being tabled for approval in compliance with Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. May I therefore call on the shareholder to move that the remuneration of directors for the year ending 31st December 2022 be and is hereby. I'm not moving. I'm asking. I'm just. I'm not. The MD. The MD is a director. Okay. So MD, can you please do that last one?
Second time running. May I therefore, should I start from may I therefore? I start from may I therefore. Yep. Start from the beginning. Okay. So let me start from the beginning. The last item on our agenda for today is also an item of special business, which is to approve the remuneration of the directors. The directors' remuneration has remained unchanged since its approval at the 2021 annual general meeting and is in the aggregate sum of Naira 22,700,000. The same is now being tabled for approval in compliance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. May I therefore call on a shareholder to move that the remuneration of directors for the year ending 31st December 2022 be and is hereby fixed and remaining unchanged at the sum of Naira 22,700,000 until further review.
My name is Benga Idowu. I move for the resolution to be approved.
Thank you. Would another shareholder please second the motion?
I second the motion moved. Adedumola Daniel is the name.
Thank you. I will now put the resolution to the meeting. You have 30 seconds to please vote.
If you are voting for, press 1A. If you are voting against, press 2B. Countdown. 9 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Poll has ended. Please show result. Thank you. 235 shareholders voted for, none against, 100%. In terms of shareholdings, 1,409,402,899 units voted for, none against, 100% approval. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Following the result of the voting announced by the registrars, I hereby declare the resolution unanimously carried. I will now hand back to the chairman.
Thank you very much, Acting Chairman. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've now come to the end of the agenda for today. All that remains is for me to thank you all for attending. I will now declare the 57th Annual General Meeting closed.
Always dreamt of being in the spotlight. As his mother, it is my duty to help him live up to his dream. That's why I give him Bornvita every day, which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C for everyday vitality, wellness, and the strength to pursue his dreams. Born Vita, strength to dream.
Sometimes before I step on stage, my mind gets clouded and it feels like I'm on the